What is going on, guys? DBG, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 cheap dark matters, or sorry, not even dark matters, endgame cards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. So these are the 10 dark matters that I really would suggest for you guys, or endgames that I would suggest you guys to pick up. Some of these are cheap, some of these are good, some of these are not so great, but as far as end games go, these are the guys that are relatively cheap that I would suggest to go for. So, any end games that I would not suggest to get, I think there's one. No. So, any Magic Johnson, I would say no. Luka Doncic. No. Just don't. Just don't, lads. Just don't. So here are the 10 that I would advise you guys to pick up. So at 20,000 MT, LAMELO Ball. You will snipe him for 20,000. If you want to pay 25,000 for him, that's fine. You still probably need to snipe him, but he'll be there on a snipe. He'll be there on a snipe. LAMELO Ball is one of the best point guards in this game, period, lads. One of the best point guards in this game. He's got that set or base 3. He's got that tray escape. He's 6'8" with a nice player build. As well as that, obviously, again, we all know the stats of badges. There's no point looking at them. They're 80 hops. But he does come with that base 3. His player build is really, really nice. And it's just an all-around, just very good card in my team. As far as point guards go, I would strongly advise you guys to maybe pick him up. Because I think you could argue. I think you can argue that he might actually be the #1 point guard in the game. So, after LAMELO Ball, Kawhi. Now, you could argue this is the best shooting guard in the game. You can genuinely argue that this is the best shooting guard in all of my team. So, for me, I think an absolute no-brainer on Kawhi Leonard. Because the difference between, say, this Kawhi Leonard and the, quote-unquote, or the Mystic Kawhi Leonard is, do you prefer base 3? Or do you prefer Ray Allen base? I think Ray Allen base is glitchier, base 3 is faster. He's one of the best defense players in the game. There's a reason why I would consider him a top 5 endgame card in this game, and probably the best non-center endgame in my team. And you're paying less than 30k. Kawhi is a must-buy cheap dark endgame. No question about it. If you're looking for the most must-buy of all these, maybe you could argue not Kawhi because the Mystic's 5k. But he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Then, I think Scottie Barnes is a good player. He's one of the few players in the game with set shot 25 and the Curry slide and the tray fade. He's kind of unique in his animations. Magic has the same ones as him. Magic sucks though. Scottie Barnes is good. Play him a small forward. His shot is good. His movement is good. There's a lot of really, really good things with Scottie Barnes. As far as the price point goes, you're looking at him and you're like, maybe you don't want to pay for a card like this one again. Because I will admit it, he's not as good as Kawhi Leonard Mystic. If you are on that much of a budget and you're only a spot for maybe you don't want to run him a small forward, or you have that extra MT, fine. But the guy's the cheapest. Him and J.R. Smith are the cheapest endgame cards, and you're looking at Scottie Barnes at a push. You can snipe him for 15k very easily. You can very easily snipe Scottie Barnes for 15k. Then J.R. A really, really good point guard. So he moves better. He's like a Kobe clone. And you're looking at him for 15k. There is no difference. I'm pretty sure the only difference is that instead of getting the tray escape, he gets the Curry slide. That's the only difference between him and Kobe. And his actual defensive animations are better. Kobe's defensive animations are absolutely horrendous. So for me, J.R. Smith is a guy that you can use in game. You can move with him. He shoots well. Still's got base 3. You can, again, argue him in a top 5 or 6 point guards game. I wouldn't put him there, but you could make that argument. You really could make that argument. And J.R. Smith is, freaking him as far as point guards go. And for his price, you're not going to get much better. Again, Mystic Luka if you're on next gen. Other than that, nothing better for his price. This Luka sucks. Don't get him. But Carmelo Anthony's really nice. Set shot 25, really good player build. He's not going to, get bumpy on defense because animations don't allow for that. But because of how wide his player build is, he's hard to just go by. Obviously, these guys all have perfect tendos. He's got the normal leaner, which a lot of people like. Him and LaMelo Ball, Kobe Bryant, and all have the normal leaner. They don't have the tray fade, which I know a lot of people do massively prefer the normal laner. So you've got all of that on like a Carmelo Anthony, which makes him a little bit unique because, again, it's something that makes him a little bit different. People might be looking to go to trade fade, or some people don't like the trade fade, and you've got the normal fade on Carmelo. He's braids mellow. He's really cheap. Again, another one you can snipe for under 20k. It's a really good card. So I'm kind of indifferent on Anthony Davis. I don't think there's any point in using him, but he's a lot better than this Luka Doncic. And there are not that many like absolutely like really cheap cards to get. There aren't that many really cheap guys to get in this game. So like catch and shoot, obviously, sorry, every Hall of Fame, that's what am I talking about? The thing with AD is they actually changed his weight. So he moves way better now than he did when he came out. When he came out, he sucked. But he moves a lot better now. He's a solid power forward. AD is top 15 power forward in the game. And again, he's another one that's at that 20k mark that you will be able to snipe him for 20k. And for that price, you're looking at power forwards 20k. He's as good as Ralph? No. Is he as good as Wiseman? No. Probably would not like go out of my way to get him, but I know a lot of people really want an endgame. And if you want a full endgame lineup, he's definitely the best option you can get for really cheap at power forward. Like any other power forwards are a little bit more expensive. But I would advise you guys spend a little bit extra on a Kristaps. I think buying a Kristaps for that little bit of extra money is going to be 1000% worth it. For like Kristaps you can get for 35 to 30k depending on when you snipe him. What you're getting with Kristaps is probably the third best big man in the game after Yao Ming and Taco Fall. You're getting a guy you can maybe argue is better at power forward position than both of them. I think he's better than Kareem. I think he's a really, really good player. I think his movement's nice. I think his shooting's really, really good. He's superb, whether it's center or whether it's at power forward. I think he's genuinely just one of the best big men in the game. He's one of the best big men in the game, and if you really want a good power forward, he's a guy that you should pick up. Really, really good, lads. Would strongly advise to get a Kristaps. So far, like the guys that I most strongly advise are Kawhi, then Kristaps. And that is like 7 players. So we've got 3 more. And one of these is going to be Larry Bird. So Larry is a player that I'm actually like pleasantly surprised by. I'm really pleasantly surprised by Larry. Because Larry has the best like motion. Like he moves the most fluid of any 6'9" player in the game. Like the way he moves compared to like a LeBron James is nuts. But what you're getting with Larry, you get a nice player build. You're getting a really nice jump shot. Good movement. He gets good defensive animations. Like he's not going to be an on-ball defender, but he gets some of the best lane playing animations in the game. You're getting one of the best endgame small forwards in this game. Point blank, period. You are getting one of the best endgame small forwards in the game. A card that I just think is an absolute demon. Somebody that is going to go super slept on because he's Larry Bird. But if you're looking to build like the best possible squad in this game, I think there's an argument to be made that Larry Bird belongs in it. Like he is a player that I'm so kind of shocked at how good he was. Like I knew he was going to be decent. I knew he was going to be this good. Larry Bird is superb. So now we're on to our last 2 players. And there's one really obvious one to choose. And I'm looking at the rest of these. I'm like, these are all kind of expensive. These are all kind of expensive. I assume this Kevin Durant is probably... he's not too expensive, I don't think. Like as far as these end games go, I'm not going to go out of my way and say any of the others are like quote unquote worth. I think LeBron at like 45k is not a bad option. He's LeBron. I don't think he's like Larry, but better. He's a better defensive Larry, worse offensive Larry. A very similar level Larry, but he's a lot more expensive than Larry Bird. So, look, he's here just to make out the 10. He's relatively cheap. That's about it. But lads, maybe the best for last between Kawhi and 30k Giannis. 30k Giannis, lads. Between Kawhi and him, if there's any must buys, it would be Kawhi, Giannis, Kristaps. Spend your 100k MT on Kawhi, Giannis, Kristaps. That is your 2-guard, small forward, power forward sorters. And then spend 60,000 MT on Taco Fall Glitch to center and 4k MT on Mystic Luka point guard. And you have built the best 100k starting 5 in the history of my team. For a 100k, you can go Mystic Luka, who is the best point. He's the best point guard in the game on next gen. You can go Mystic Luka, Kawhi Leonard endgame. You can go Giannis Antetokounmpo endgame. You can go Kristaps Porzingis endgame and Taco full glitched. And if you want to make it even cheaper, just swap Kawhi for the Mystic. This Giannis is significantly better than the 75th Giannis. He is significantly better. Unbelievable release. Really big player build. The best lane player in the game. Not the best on-ball defender. Kawhi is the best. If you want to make a perfect team, you can make it now for 100k. And this guy's a must for that. This guy's a must for that. I say it about Kawhi, but like Mystic Kawhi is so good. So for me, Giannis and Porzingis are like the 1A, 1B and who you need to buy. Kawhi at number 3. I probably wouldn't go. I would say the rest of them are like really like if you like the players, go and use them. If you need backups, go and use them. But they're the guys that I would say 2, 3, and 4 are must buys. Point guard, I think Mystic Luka is better than any of the ones we have. But if you don't have Mystic Luka or you're on next gen, or you're on current gen, you don't want Mystic Luka, go get J.R. Smith or LaMelo Ball, 2 exceptional point guards. Both of them have Trey Fade as well on current gen, so probably LaMelo Ball is better. But anyway, yeah, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.